Coming up in NBN News, a mandatory code of conduct for Australia's grocery giants, the latest bid to bring down prices. 2 teenagers arrested after an armed brawl sends an Adelaide shopping centre into lockdown. A high-profile Liberal recruited by the PM, Matt Keane, to chair the Climate Change Authority. Donald Trump chooses a running mate ahead of the first presidential debate against Joe Biden. And why the return of Latrell Mitchell is a major headache for the Maroons in Origin 2. That's next. Tonight, the new mandatory code of conduct that could result in multi-billion-dollar fines for our supermarkets.
Teenagers arrested over a brawl that sent a Westfield shopping centre into lockdown.
Terror in Russia, more than a dozen police officers killed as gunmen opened fire.
The federal government's world-leading crackdown on vapes watered down.
And why the Maroons fear the Latrell Mitchell factor in Origin 2.
This is NBN News with Gavin and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Supermarket giants are now playing by a new set of rules made to ensure households get fairer prices at the checkout and designed to stop price gouging.
Under the plan finalised today, the likes of Coles and Woolworths could be fined billions of dollars if they don't give farmers or families a fair go.
Tonight, the most common reminder of the cost of living is in for change.
A brawl in a food court between 2 groups of teenagers was behind yesterday's lockdown at a Westfield shopping centre in Adelaide. 3 teenagers have now been arrested, and today came questions about the response.
Groups of teenage boys fighting in a food court, a robbery thought to be the catalyst. Police allege a 15 and 16-year-old were armed with extendable batons, while another 15-year-old allegedly produced a machete. Hudson Winter was working nearby.
They were flipping over chairs and stuff like that.
The Westfield Centre went into immediate lockdown. This sign, part of the warning system that sent shoppers running. People were killed then. Thankfully, only minor injuries in this incident.
The New South Wales Premier and Agriculture Minister have joined the chorus of voices urging people not to panic buy eggs and chicken after bird flu was found at a second farm in the Hawkesbury.
It's not dangerous in terms of human consumption. The quarantine measures in place are working.
On a national level, there is absolutely no risk of egg supply shortages. There's no need whatsoever for shoppers to be panicking about this.
The outbreak is the first time the virus has been found in New South Wales in 11 years.
At least 15 police officers and a priest have been killed by gunmen in Russia. Authorities have labelled it a terror attack, with a synagogue and a church also set on fire in the province of Dagestan. Police are appealing for information after an ATM was stolen from the Willow Tree Inn at around 3:30 on Sunday morning. Officers say 2 men removed the machine using a blue dual cab ute. The ATM was later found in Quapolly Dam near Corindai. Anyone with information is urged to contact police.
It's already been a 2-decade fight. Now, long-time locals at Catherine Hill Bay have expressed fresh concerns about overdevelopment. 2 housing estates are taking shape, each with hundreds of homes, while shops and services are in the works.
A long stretch of untamed bushland known as the Munmore Estate Conservation Area. Then you reach a sprawling housing development. The once sleepy village of Catherine Hill Bay is being transformed.
I avert my eyes. I just don't look at it. It is too dispiriting.
550 modern homes, with a new stage being built on the headland, which locals claim is a blight on the landscape.
Sad for the loss of a beautiful place. It's worse than I expected it would be.
The opposition began in 2006. Planning Minister Frank Sartor approved the beaches development in 2011 after it was declared state significant.
Lake Macquarie said, no, this is not right. We've got enough land here that's serviced properly for any sort of population increase. It shouldn't happen at Catherine Hill Bay.
But Lake Macquarie Council has had to deal with erosion and a landslip that's closed a road within the development after heavy rain. Residents say a stormwater drainage dam and downstream controls built by Darracon have also failed, flooding properties.
It was really that they just ripped out all the vegetation so that when the rain came, there was nothing to hold it.
Many are concerned about contaminated runoff, given the area was mined for more than 100 years. And soon Catho will be between two developments. Another subdivision with 211 lots by the Hunter Group is taking shape on the northern side. Catherine Hill Bay is a one-pub village. Rose Group's own website says its development will include a neighbourhood retail centre, but so far only homes have been built. Those living within the estate are content and say the shops and services will come.
It's an idyllic lifestyle, coastal, short drive into amenities at Swansea and so forth.
A spokesperson for Rose Group says once the village green and coastal walk is complete, retail plans will be lodged with council. And it adds that water in the area is being tested every 3 months and after storm events. The group's contractor Darracon was also contacted for comment. Jane Goldsmith, NBN News.
Bob's Farm residents are calling on Port Stephens Council to repair Marsh Road. Locals held a community meeting on the weekend to discuss the state of the 8.4 kilometre stretch, which they say is in desperate need of resurfacing.
A lot of people end up in the drain. They hit the water holes in aquaplane. Yes, a lot of traffic issues on Marsh Road.
Council's asset manager says the road has been impacted by severe weather over the past few years and there are deep pavement issues which need to be repaired. Travel plans were pushed back for many this morning as a thick layer of fog triggered delays at Newcastle Airport. 20 flights into and out of Williamtown were affected, some circling for hours while others were redirected to Sydney. The airport says operations have since returned to normal.
Work to spruce up Hunter Street Mall has begun in the hope of revitalising the CBD strip. It comes as local residents urge the state government to approve the next stage of the East End development to complete the transformation.
With harbour views and minutes from the beach, life on Hunter Street should be idyllic for these retirees. But they say each time they venture out of their East End apartments, they're met with a very different reality.
So we've got the pigeons taking residence, we've got vandalism, we've got graffiti.
Reg, Howard and Peter live in Stage 1 of the East End Urban Village development. Stage 2 is set to open in August, but progress on Stages 3 and 4 has ground to a halt. The 5 apartment blocks slated for this site are now in planning limbo after an independent panel knocked back developer Iris Capital's concept designs last month. Residents are worried if the build falls through, so will any hope of transforming the neighbourhood.
It's turning into a bit of a ghetto. The development's taking so much longer than anybody expected.
The retirees aired their concerns today just as the Lord Mayor unveiled the biggest facelift for the mall in decades.
We're excited that we're opening it back up to traffic, but also providing modern amenities like cycleways and footpaths.
New roadways, improved drainage and multifunction lighting. It's probably going to take 6 to 8 months or by the end of the year.
Business Hunter hopeful the promised improvements will help breathe new life into the mall for retailers doing it tough.
They provide passive security and safety in themselves, whereas vacant areas don't do that.
As for getting the development back on track, the Department of Planning says Iris Capital can appeal to the Land and Environment Court.
It needs to happen and it needs the nod to say, let's go ahead.
Risa Utama, NBN News.
Tonight, we can give you a sneak peek at what the reimagined Newcastle Art Gallery is expected to look like. Work is well underway to more than double the exhibition space, allowing the gallery to put its entire collection on display.
It does house the most nationally significant regional collection in Australia. Artists like John Olsen, Margaret Olley.
The $43 million upgrade is set to be completed early next year.
Well, it was a very foggy start, burning off and becoming quite comfortable in the afternoon sunshine. Temperatures reaching about 17 to 19 today, looking pretty good in the days ahead. Details soon.
Still ahead in NBN News tonight, the investigation into a Newcastle cocaine haul leads police to a Sydney granny flat.
The Labor government recruits a former Liberal treasurer for its climate war with Peter Dutton.
And legends turn back the clock to mark 30 years since Origin football came to the MCG.
You universities matter because of what matters to us, like medical research, finding cures and better treatments, crops that survive droughts, more doctors and nurses to take care of us in later life, because we need affordable energy and housing, healthier koalas, safer cars, cleaner water, For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
It's the final days of Beacon Stocktake Sale with incredible discounts on absolutely everything. Right now, you can save on everything store-wide. But hurry, Beacon Stocktake Sale ends Sunday.
How many roads been dusted? Told myself that I wouldn't shed tears and they sprayed my wounds in public. I swear that bled, I fell from grace and it left me broke and busted. Rolled and ducked it. Stood right in the eye of the storm and the vibe was so conductive. I feel the pulse I'm pumping. Two in the zone, I love this. That kind of moment does this. And now we're here. All of us.
We've all been feeling cost of living pressures. That's why the Australian government's tax cuts from the 1st of July are for every taxpayer. Visit taxcuts.gov.au to find out how they'll benefit you. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Every minute.
Every game. All season long.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Save up to 20% off carpet. Huge choice in styles and colours. Family friendly and great value. Up to 50% off rugs. Range of sizes and styles to choose from. More great clearance deals at Harvey Norman now.
Jack sold his motorbike in his 20s to buy Mia's engagement ring. Today, it's his turn for a surprise. IMB Bank, right by you.
Disney on Ice is hitting the road and you're invited. Once the fun starts, it never stops. At Disney on Ice presents Road Trip Adventures, Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 11th. Book now at Ticketek.
More than 1,300 people have now died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage. The faithful have faced extreme temperatures at Islamic holy sites.
Anthony Albanese has recruited from the other side of politics in his war over nuclear power with Peter Dutton. The Prime Minister appointing former New South Wales Liberal Treasurer Matt Keane to be an independent advisor on climate change.
Anthony Albanese pulls his own nuclear trigger, a Liberal blue blood, as his chief climate change advisor.
Mr Keane is uniquely qualified. The opportunity that the transition
is a curse. Is this epiphany in his life just happened to play? I think so, and I hope so.
Mind you, Peter Dutton's changed his tune too.
I don't support the establishment of big nuclear facilities here at all. I'm opposed to it.
Enlisting a former Liberal minister to the Climate Authority is clever politics, but it also suggests the Prime Minister feels it necessary to bolster the pro-renewables case against arguments they too will be expensive.
Leader of the opposition. What is the total system cost of the government's energy plan?
At a time when the rest of us are working to get power bills down, he's picked the one option guaranteed to push power prices up.
Or as Jackie Lambie put it,
they don't have a plan. He's just come out and pulled this out of his clacker.
Andrew Probyn, NBN News.
The federal government's world-leading plan to crack down on vaping has tonight been watered down. Political editor Charles Croucher has the details.
Well, from July 1, therapeutic vapes will be only available with a prescription from a GP or prescribing nurse as planned. This would mirror ibuprofen, nicotine gum or nicotine patches.
A new development following the death of a diver in an alleged drug plot in Newcastle, with forensic police searching a granny flat in Sydney's southwest. The body of a Brazilian national was found in the port of Newcastle in 2022, along with more than 50 kilos of cocaine. A second diver has never been found. Police believe one of them lived at the Sydney property for up to 2 months and have taken fingerprints.
The captain of A-League club Macarthur FC has fronted court for the first time, being arrested over a spot-fixing scandal. Yuli Davalia is accused of convincing other players to earn deliberate yellow cards in exchange for money, while an associate in Colombia placed big bets. The 33-year-old today had his bail conditions relaxed to report to police only once a week instead of twice.
There were celebrations today to mark 30 years since the MCG was first transformed into a mecca for rugby league.
The home of Aussie Rules hosted a record crowd for the historic State of Origin battle back in 1994 and introduced Melburnians to a whole new league of legends.
As they punched through the cyclone-fence-lined chutes to the old mechanical turnstiles, many Melburnians still had their doubts about this rugby league football business.
It's a girls' game. There's no room for it in Victoria.
Give me Aussie Rules any day.
Any idea who Laurie Daly is?
But the first game of Origin to visit Melbourne in 1994 was a big deal. Blues captain Laurie Daly almost eviscerating his opposite number with a bottle of Bodega on a tram.
Hey! I don't think anyone can kill Mal. I don't think anyone can go that far, adults. Geez, 30 years, hasn't time flown?
It wasn't a happy hunting ground for us.
But it laid the plinth for rugby league in Victoria, did it not?
Oh, it did, yeah. So I think it's the record crowd that we've ever had in Australia, basically, that particular night.
30 years on, Hawthorn great Dermy Brereton rejoining Mal and Laurie to recreate the cover of the souvenir program.
If you show us world's best sport, which is State of Origin, we'll turn up and we'll go and watch and we'll pick a team and we'll support. I remember walking out on the oval and I didn't really know what to expect, but you get out there and you can't believe how big the ground is. We're probably hoping that for the sake of the sport it can go to a third game, and we'd love
you're not Robinson Crusoe. But the MCG remains a tough room for New South Wales, because when it comes to Origin over the Murray, it seems Victoria adopts the attitude that the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Queensland, of course.
In Melbourne, Mike Dalton, NBN News.
Almost 700 to 900 millimetres of rain has fallen in between Nobbies and the Central Coast since April, and the majority of that rain has fallen on 8 separate weekends. We're back into another dry Monday to Friday period. Clear skies return to the majority of the country. The main weather feature is the low in the Bight. We will enjoy a mild, drier northwest airflow because of it. Another frosty, foggy start inland for the upper Hunter Tablelands. Parts of the northwest warming nicely through the day, though reaching at least 20 for most, mid to high teens for the Tablelands.
Coming up next, a street scuffle as an Australian man is accused of trashing a tattoo studio in Bali.
Panes of glass that power your home, the windows that work like solar panels.
And take your partner to work day for Taylor Swift.
Create stories for life on a scenic Eclipse ultra-luxury voyage with up to 10 world-class dining experiences, indulgent spaces, all veranda suites and butler service. Discover Indonesia's exotic spice islands, the natural wonders of Borneo and the Philippines. Be immersed in ancient samurai traditions and vibrant cultures of Japan and South Korea. Book your all-inclusive voyage now and save from $5,500 per person.
Origin just got better, because with Sportsbet's NRL Same Game Multi-Tracker, you can now track your Origin multi live, all in one place, with Sportsbet.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
People Care Health Insurance is with you through it all. Through heavy weights and important dates. Through thick and thin and strength to strength. Through the years and the generations, People Care Health Insurance, we're with you. Nivea 5-in-1 Rich Nourishing Body Lotion intensively moisturises for 48 hours from first use. A fast-absorbing formula with almond oil, moisture-locking lipids and deep moisture serum to protect your skin from drying out.
The Snooze End of Financial Year sale is on now. Save up to 50% off mattresses, including Sealy, Madison and Tempur, and up to 40% off bed frames. Hurry, sale ends Sunday.
Amazing what a little snooze can do.
Get into Anaconda for a huge range of puffer jackets from the North Face, Helly Hansen, Mountain Designs, Columbia and more. Find the biggest brands all in one place this winter. Play more and pay less. Anaconda!
Make the switch to Red Energy on your next move and unpack up to 15,000 bonus Qantas points. Call 131 806.
The McDonald Jones Freedom Sale is on now with free double glazing, free solar, free kitchen upgrades and more. Plus save an incredible $65,000 off your new home. Find your freedom and start saving with McDonald Jones today. Conditions apply.
Newcastle Commercial Vehicles, 3 big brands, 1 location. Purchase any Hino, LDV or Iveco truck and receive a free Weber BBQ barbecue. Explore the huge range of new and used trucks from Hino to LDV and Iveco. Newcastle Commercial Vehicles, Kinder Drive, Beyersdorf.
Airds of Lochinvar stock a large range of Yeti products, from coffee mugs, beer coasters, and also the new Yeti luggage range. Airds of Lochinvar have got it all. Yeti at Airds of Lochinvar.
Scenic Eclipse, the benchmark in ultra-luxury cruising. Be immersed in ancient samurai traditions, sacred shrines and the vibrant cultures of Japan and South Korea. Book now and save from $6,500 per person.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. Police are investigating the theft of an ATM from the Willow Tree Inn, with the machine later found in a dam near Corindai. Fog caused delays for flights in and out of Newcastle Airport this morning, with some aircraft diverted to Sydney. Central Coast firefighters have rallied at Woy Woy, calling for fairer compensation and station upgrades. Coffs Harbour Councillor Jonathan Castle has raised his concerns about the possible effect logging is having on the city's water catchment. And Balliner's Joshua Manning has been named Apprentice of the Year at the North and Mid-North Coast Training Awards in Byron Bay.
Israel's Defence Force is under scrutiny after disturbing footage emerged of a Palestinian man tied to the front of an Israeli army truck. The IDF says it's a violation of military protocol and has launched an investigation, and a warning viewers may find the vision confronting.
Slumped over and strapped to the hood of an armoured vehicle. Israeli forces say this Palestinian man is a suspect, and despite his injuries sustained during a raid in the occupied West Bank, troops drive past ambulance of orders and standard operating procedures. Between Israel and the US highlights a growing tension. Constructive conversations with Israeli Defence Minister Yoav Gallant, who touched down on American soil today. Our ties are crucial, he says, perhaps more important than ever. In the United States, Lauren Tamazi, NBN News.
Disaster relief teams have been dispatched to China's south, where more than 150 towns have been impacted by torrential rain.
A brawl allegedly involving an Australian man has spilled onto the streets of Bali. The owner of a Denpasar tattoo studio has accused him and another man of trashing his shop over a debt they claimed they were owed. Police are looking into the incident, which happened earlier this month.
Smoke filled the sky after a blaze broke out in an industrial estate west of Glasgow in Scotland. Witnesses reported hearing explosions and bangs as the flames took hold. Emergency services say there were no reported injuries.
Donald Trump says he's selected his vice president, but is staying quiet on who it is. The governor of North Dakota and an Ohio senator are thought to be among the candidates. It comes ahead of the first debate between Trump and Joe Biden, marking the first time the pair has been in the same room since the 2020 campaign. The largest weapon in the New South Wales Rural Fire Services arsenal is right now in the US. The Murray Bashir air tanker is being used to help fight wildfires in California.
A new Australian invention is offering a window into our energy future. Panes of glass that also act as solar panels are being developed, and they'll be on sale by the end of the year.
5 minutes is all it takes. This machine is churning out window panes that harness sunlight and turn it into power.
Senior female executives from some of Australia's biggest companies, including Woolworths, Telstra, Optus, Origin and AGL, gathered in Sydney today to discuss how their businesses can help stop domestic violence following today's collaboration.
Myer has announced plans to buy a handful of well-known clothing brands as part of a big corporate shake-up. Finance editor Chris Kohler has the details.
Shares in the retailer took off as soon as the market opened today. Investors seriously intrigued by Myer's plan. The department store wants to take over Just Jeans, JJ's, Portman's, Dotti and Jackie E. They're all owned by Premier Investments, so it'd be a bit like a reverse takeover. And it would mean billionaire chairman Solomon Lew would take a seat on Myer's board. Both share prices rose, but Myer's jumped 20%. That deal is in its early stages, but certainly turned a few heads today. The share market more broadly fell 62 points, with ResMed doing a lot of that damage. It makes sleep apnea masks and was not popular today. And the Australian dollar is mostly steady, buying 66 US cents and 62 euro cents.
Taylor Swift fans at Wembley Stadium were treated to a surprise guest on...
Might need to work on the dancing a bit, but he's great.
Absolutely. Who wasn't at that show?
Right.
It was more the question.
We weren't.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move to sport now with Adam.
Latrell Mitchell, well, he's all the talk ahead of Origin too.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Even Queensland are backing him to start at the MCG. After the break, Jerome Luai explains how he plans to ensure Latrell is at his devastating best. Also ahead, is Adam O'Brien about to blood another Englishman into the NRL? And Kurtley Beale eyeing a milestone in his return to the Wallabies.
Repco's new catalogue is out now, where you'll get Bars Bugs windscreen cleaner 2 for $7. Plus save $30 on our Repco battery trade-in. Catalogue out now, only at Repco.
Morning, Dave.
Hey, Josie. You good?
Can't complain. No one listens.
Oh, I listen. Hey, buddy.
Dave, early start.
You know, maybe, yeah?
Yeah. Shippy down.
Didn't know there'd be a traffic jam in here.
When you buy a Ford Ranger, Australia's #1 selling vehicle in 2023, you become part of something bigger. Get into a Ranger XL, XLS, XLT or Sport today. Now in stock at your Ford dealer.
There's only one end of financial year sale.
Because at Bingley, it's the way.
From kitchen and laundry to TVs and tech.
With big savings on big brands.
And there's only one Yenda, the Yenda Financial Year Sale at Bingley. On now.
Do you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Metamucil's daily 4-in-1 fibre helps trap and remove waste. This daily cleanser supports gut health, regularity, and traps cholesterol and sugars. Try Metamucil.
Good thing you're covered by Budget Direct.
Yeah, the reviews are glowing.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
One of the beautiful things about Light Easy is you don't have to have the same program. I can have a shake, whereas the breakfast and the lunches work much better for Rob.
Discover an affordable option that's made for you at lightandeasy.com.au.
What's your pitch?
Forget the pitch. You've got an itch.
That itch could be dandruff. Silence it. Head & Shoulders removes up to 100% dandruff and itch. Head & Shoulders.
Flooring Extra, where a fabulous flooring experience starts with expert service and a beautiful product range that will handle anything you can throw at it. Flooring Extra. It's a fabulous flooring experience. Now that's the feeling. Progress. With Newcastle Permanent's local home loan experts, we're here to help you get into your dream home faster. And we're here for good.
The Nick Scarley half-yearly clearance has been extended, with everything reduced across the entire range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. Extended until Sunday at Nick Scarley.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Great renovator deals. IXL Luminate single heat, light and fan, only $6.99 plus bonus Harvey Norman $50 gift card. Plus a huge 25% off Timberline Australian-made bathroom furniture. Hurry at Harvey Norman now.
Tonight's code word is goofy. Visit nbnnews.com.au for your chance to win.
The Maroons admit he's a huge threat, and the Blues say he has an Origin aura. Both sides agree Latrell Mitchell's presence will loom large over the MCG on Wednesday night, and New South Wales needs him firing with the series on the line.
In the space of 3 weeks, Latrell Mitchell has gone from an Origin outcast to the Blues' main man.
Himself, you know, when he's in blue, he's got his family on his back and brotherhood on the front.
He's a weapon Luai wants to unleash as much as possible. Here the most is the aim, then the return of Latrell looks to have hit the mark.
Oh mate, huge threat. We all know what Latrell's capable of and what he's done in the Origin arena, and you know, we're going to have our hands, you know, pretty full trying to hang on to him.
The Maroons touch down in Melbourne this afternoon. The Blues will get their one and only look at the MCG tomorrow. For the kickers in particular, the dimensions of the colossal arena will be challenging but also exhilarating.
But we're pros, man, we can get it done. 90,000 is pretty crazy. I have played in a lot of big games myself, so I think that'll help me, but yeah, I like to think I thrive in that sort of atmosphere.
The vibe in Blues camp is high. The boombox is back on the bus. Not even the coach has a problem with the sounds.
Mads, nah. Hip hop, and he was like that, so I think he liked it.
Chris Hodgkinson, NBN News.
Stephen Crichton always leads by example, and the Bulldogs skipper says he'd one day love to be the Blues captain too. Crichton has explained the detail he goes into to make sure his Origin preparation is perfect.
In a team packed with big personalities, he doesn't need a diary for his famous handshakes, but our one needs work.
We'll go double tap, and then hold it like this, like you're holding a camera.
I like it. So I'm the journo, not the cameraman.
That's for him. And then just hold your mic.
Nah, thanks, Danny. Appreciate it, bro.
Danny Weidler, NBN News.
Will Price is yet to make his NRL debut for the Knights, but Kai Pearce-Paul believes his fellow Englishman will be ready when the call comes. 21-year-old Price has spent the last 16 rounds lighting up Newcastle's New South Wales Cup side.
He's a talented player, and he brings a lot to that Cup side, so yeah, if he was to make his debut or was to play whenever it is in the season, I think he'll make a good impact on the side.
The Knights host the Eels on Saturday night. Nico Hines was dropped by the Blues for Game 2, but Sharks teammates say he's showing no signs of it at training. They're tipping their halfback to shine against the Bulldogs. Curtly Beale says he never gave up on his dream of playing for the Wallabies again, and now that he's back for the first time in 3 years, he's hunting a milestone, being 4 games away from his 100th cap.
It's not going to be given to me, and I understand that, but I think that's the exciting bit, being able to kind of test yourself against some of the best up-and-coming players in the country.
Beale is fighting for selection in new coach Joe Schmidt's team to face Wales on July 6. Coming up next, Max Verstappen made to work for his Spanish three-peat, and 2 Aussies on track for skateboard gold in Paris.
Dad, have you seen the boat keys? Nope.
Should have gone to Specsavers. Book an eye test today.
At Super Cheap Auto, you'll find super savings on our biggest brands. 25% off the Turtle Wax range. And Bendix Brake and Parts Cleaner, $7 each when you buy 3 or more. Make it super. Super Cheap Auto.
Wonderful.
Velocity frequent flyer points.
That was fast.
You'll get used to it.
Go from earning points to enjoying rewards fast. Velocity means fast.
Down, gotta levitate. Come on to the unplay. Onto the
IGA have low prices locked on a range of great Community Co products.
Like Community Co Tasty Cheese Slice 250 grams, $6 each. And beef lasagna 1.2 kilo, $8 each. Low price locked at your local IGA.
It was my drive home after work that would set me off. I'd smoked to wind down. When I spoke to a Quitline counsellor, we talked about different ways to get through it.
Beat cravings one at a time. Search I Can Quit or call Quitline.
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
Caravans Newcastle end of financial year main event sale. Huge savings on vacation and retreat and eternity caravans. See the team. We'll do a deal. No reasonable offer refused. Save big now at Caravans Newcastle.
Get 60 months interest-free at Harvey Norman. No deposit, no interest with 60 monthly repayments from Latitude Financial Services and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. That's a $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. Terms, fees, charges and exclusions apply. Harvey Norman clearance on now.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Clearance on now for a limited time only.
Tokyo gold medalist Keegan Palmer has proved he's on track for more success in Paris, winning the men's park skateboarding event at the Olympic Qualifier Series in Budapest. Palmer put down an impressive score of 94.94 in his second run to secure the title. Fellow Australian Arissa True also has Olympic gold in her sights. The 14-year-old posted 93.38 to take the women's park title. Max Verstappen has won the Spanish Grand Prix for the third year in a row, but he didn't do it comfortably. Lando Norris finished just 2 seconds behind the world champion, while his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri crossed the line in 7th. It was a tough outing for fellow Aussie Daniel Ricciardo. He finished 15th. And the Hunters' Christian Mansell has backed up his F3 podium at Monaco with another in Spain. Starting on pole in the Feeder Series 100th race, the 19-year-old led for the opening 4 laps before being overtaken by eventual winner Arvid Lindblad. Mansell's comfortable second-place finish, promoting him to 7th in the standings. A race win in New York overnight has seen Team Australia secure a berth in next month's Sail GP Grand Final in San Francisco.
It all worked out well for us. We got a bit lucky out of this event. I kind of feel like we're sort of getting out of here with a good result when we might not have deserved it. New Zealand won its 5th event of the season and is the team to beat in July. The Jets have started pre-season training, taking the first steps in what is a new era for the club. Coach Rob Stanton says the last campaign saw growth. Now he hopes his young team can pick up where it left off.
New owners, some fresh faces and a new season for the Jets.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to see the players, staff. Lot happening in the off-season.
The club keen to put any woes of the last campaign behind it, but mindful of the long haul that lies ahead.
It's relief, but also now the hard work also starts because we have to actually build it and do that. And I think little steps, but at least now we're not. Conversations this year won't be about ownership, it'll be about how we can improve every week.
The Jets found their groove at the tail end of the season. They'll now use that as the starting point.
We want to start there and we want to go from the 10th best team in the country and aim to be the best team in the country.
Rob Stanton's roster is 90% complete with just 2 names to add.
A player of experience or presence, someone who can bring something to the team that the others can feed off and can add something for the fans, but also mainly for the team.
While a familiar face couldn't resist getting involved on day one.
He enjoyed it, felt different for him. I think he joined in for the runs at the end just to feel a bit better. But yeah, I like having him around. He's already made a tremendous impact with new players arriving.
The Jets play an Australia Cup game next month. Montana Clare, NBN News.
It was a tough weekend in the nation's capital for the Mustangs men. The NBL 1 title contenders lost back-to-back games. The wake-up call coming less than a month from the finals.
The best of the regular season went to and fro to start the weekend.
Canberra landing a punch ahead of the business end.
Mayfield attacking. Off the glass.
The Mustangs had a chance to bounce back from the 82-80 loss on Sunday. Instead, they were trounced by the Centre of Excellence, 121-99. Maitland's women also fell to Canberra, but Shakira Riley led the side to an 88-53 win over the COE.
Riley again in the corner. That's automatic.
The Falcons women are flying high in third after holding off Manly 75-74. And despite 29 points from Miles Cherry, Newcastle's men went down to the Seagulls by 12. The Entertainment Centre was packed for the second leg of PBR's State of Origin series.
New South Wales, help him ride! Help him!
Needing a win to square things up, New South Wales fell short in a nail-biting finish.
You never want to go down, still a lose, but there's so much we can take out of that. The boys had a different gear, a couple more gears they didn't know about tonight, so we'll be back.
And the North Stars almost bagged back-to-back wins in the Australian Ice Hockey League in Brisbane. After going down 5-4 in overtime on Saturday, they responded with a 5-1 win on Sunday. And to field hockey, and after losing to Norths last weekend, Gosford was determined to bounce back in round 12 of the Hunter Coast Premier League. In the end, it claimed a tight 2-1 win over the bottom of the table Tigers. Norths, meantime, continued their winning streak, grabbing a 1-point victory over West. And the clash between Maitland and South was abandoned early in the fourth quarter after Tom McGann was knocked out when hit in the back of the head by a ball. The teams agreeing to declare a 0-0 result. And fingers crossed he is doing okay.
Goodness, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. Well, stay with us. Some very interesting weather this morning. A lot of fog burning off, being pushed out to sea there, but warming up during the afternoon a little. What's next? Details after the break.
How far would you go to current affair next?
Andy can't stop Ashwin. Loan application time.
Applying for a loan isn't as hard as you think. With an easy online application, ANZ GoBiz is the loan without the groan. Search ANZ GoBiz.
And it's not going to cut itself.
It's days like these, rediscovering a new freedom, living in a luxury home, in a luxury world-class resort. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
You must not say such things. You are clearly betrayed.
If you can't live without Netflix,
Can't live without Netflix.
then you can't live without the AGL Netflix electricity plan, with Netflix included for the life of your plan.
AGL do that? They do that. It's definitely worth it. It's your dream.
Join AGL's Netflix electricity plan today.
Look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance has been extended, with everything reduced across the entire range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. Extended until Sunday at Nick Scali.
This is the deal. At Cardiff GWM, we'll pay your deposit. Just finance a new GWM vehicle and we'll pay your deposit for you. And that means you'll pay less. Save now at Cardiff GWM.
You can't escape it. You're faced with choices every single day. But whatever choice you face, we're here to help. Hunter Primary Care.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Save $150 on the Dyson Airwrap, now under $700. Higher king-size fridge with ice and water, now under $2,000, save $200. Now under $900, LG 55-inch smart TV, save over $300. At Harvey Norman now.
Yes, the weather cycle has been very cruel to us so far this winter. As I reported earlier, since April, 700 to 900 millimetres of rain coming down in between Nobbies and Nora ahead through the week. Lovely conditions, but those weekends cold and cloudy. and likely to see a little more of that for next weekend. The mornings, though, when it's clear like this, the twilight can last for so long because the sun is so angled up, because we had the solstice on Friday. Thank you, Jessie Clay, for that. Past 24 hours, the showers again backing off, clearing for your Monday. Lovely conditions. We've got a huge low, very wintry now for Adelaide and throughout the southeast, and this is helping draw down a bit of a northerly influence. We've got a beautiful nor'wester on our hands throughout tomorrow. Throw in some sunshine and it's going to become lovely and mild and dry out the coast after another battering. Wet in between Mackay and Cairns. Most of the nation is fairly dry. In the west, all fine, just cold and windy for Adelaide in the coming days, and the wind's picking up speed throughout the southeast. Another freezing start for the capital, Sydney, shaping up nicely. Cool and clear for the Alice, lovely and dry and sunny right throughout the north. This morning down to about 3-4 degrees. Inland topped out at 17, some 19s already around Lake Macquarie, Nora Head. Gosford reaching 18 degrees today, 17 for Nobby's Head, but there's that northwester. That's what we like during this time of the year. Throw in 100% sunshine from sunrise pretty much to sunset, and that is going to warm the afternoon nicely. But again, we'll have to deal with that chilly beginning, down to about 5-6 degrees, the Central Coast up to about 19 degrees for most. We may push a little bit beyond that with that nor'wester. Probably going to have a little bit of an ocean breeze draw in along the coastal fringe at some point throughout tomorrow afternoon. But for the valley floor, we're looking at generally the high teens and maybe some 20s as well. But a freezing start and frost and probably a little bit of fog and mist again. Not as bad as this morning, but fog and mist about again throughout tomorrow morning. The swell at about a metre, backing off now. We're into a smaller phase, 5 to 7 sun rising, down at about 5 to 5. It's an early morning low tide tomorrow morning, so we'll be hitting the high there just before 11 a.m. And the swell dropping below a metre now, so weak and lacklustre. But look at that lovely Monday to Friday period yet again, and there's your weekend. At least the numbers aren't as big, so it shouldn't be as brutal as what we've seen so far. So a little bit of wet weather and cloud there pushing in over the weekend. Maybe a little drop there Wednesday for the upper Hunter. There's a little bit of an inland feature happening with that, but otherwise it's overall a good looking week, relatively fine, fairly cool for the Central Coast, but cloudy for the up and coming weekend. But we'll check in as the week progresses. It may get better. Checking in with the surf for another day. Well, some lovely little fun waves pushing on through at the moment, but it's getting smaller, it's getting weaker, but it is going to be clean again throughout tomorrow. You've got the nor'westers, and that is going to polish it up somewhat. That water temperature still hovering around 17, but when you have a really cold morning like it was this morning, you had that fog on the water and the mist. It was really quite spectacular for early morning surfers or coastal walkers. So again, it's going to be nippy but not bad in the water with a bit of rubber on. But look, now finding a punchy wave is going to be hard to come by throughout tomorrow.
Thank you, Gav. And before we go tonight, a power outage is affecting more than 2,000 customers in inner city Newcastle. Cause isn't known, but Ausgrid expects to have it restored by 8:30.
And that's the news for this Monday from all of the NBN team.
Good night.
Good night.